Hey, everybody. So, Wave 2 has landed for me. This is actually most of Wave 1 and Wave 2 here together, what I inflicted on myself. And I'm super excited. I'm looking at things, I'm watching other people unbox stuff, and I'm like, my gosh, I am overwhelmed. Aha, but I know what to do. I know how to take care of that. And a lot of you probably out there know what to do as well too. It's pretty common to do I think in the wargaming community is to make a spreadsheet of your stuff. So yeah, that's what I've done, and I'm kind of inspired to show this to you because Dusk Haunters did a video like this showing off. I think he titled his "Project Managing Your BattleTech Minis" with some kind of a little bit more of a project management focus on things. This really for me is just I can't hold all in my head of what I've just purchased and done to myself here. Like how big did my pile of shame just grow? How am I going to organize all this stuff into different lances and factions and groups, right? So, I mean, you probably have ways of doing this. Here's how I did it. And if this is helpful to someone, great. So just for fun, so I'll show you what I did. So, kind of my step one is I just did a basic recording of everything that I got, and so my basic recording is essentially these columns here. So I put in the mech name with a link over to SarnaNet to the mech's page. I put a column for numbers. I didn't enter that initially. Put the origin of it, whether it was clan or inner sphere, what type of mech it is, if it was jump enabled, what role it is. The jump enabled and roles, they move about based on variants, but just basically. I also put a link to on SarnaNet the box set or the force pack it came from. And then for me personally, what factions were appropriate. Oh well, that was phase one. I'm jumping ahead. So I went through and did all that. Then I went and I actually physically counted. I looked at my physical product and said, okay, I have two of these because they came from this, and I didn't get any more of them in salvage boxes and blah 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 blah. You also see I did this weird marking here, 2 comma 1. I have three archers, two of them in the standard pose and one of them in the legendary pose. Doesn't make totaling very well. I'll probably redo that at some point, but just a shorthand right now. So I went through, I did all of that. I did it for every single mech in this. And then I went and I looked on master unit list for the eras that I'm interested in, which is Clan Invasion all the way through to Dark Age and a little bit into Ilcon, but or Ilclan. I don't know that much about that era yet, obviously, but I kind of want to be able to run things all the way through the gamut. I have an affinity towards Dragon's Fury and Nova Cats. Dragon's Fury being a Karita faction that kind of spun out of Dark Ages stories. So I just went through the master unit list, looking at the faction by era, and saying, okay, well the Adders run in both Ghost Bear and Nova Cat. So these are my little shorthands: DCMS, Draconis Cobine, mustard soldiery, yeah, mustard soldiers. That's Karita, right? So I just went through and did all of that all the way down, and then where I had like here's an example, like the Valkyrie. So for the two main eras I was looking at, there's kind of fuzzy use here for Karita, Ghost Bear, and Overcat. They're all used in the Dark Ages Plus, which is really funky. It's a variant. They're not really used before that, but you see a lot of Valkyries painted up in Karita colors. That's because again they can be taken as prizes, right? So, er, like BattleTech, everything goes, but it's just how lore strict do you want to be, right? There's a million different ways a Valkyrie could end up in a Karita force, and a funny thing too is a lot of times you'll see like, oh, well, this mech isn't actually shouldn't run in this faction, but then you can look at another good place to look is on SarnaNet's famous pilots, and you'll find, oh, that's not a Karita mech, but look at the very first famous known pilot is a Karita pilot. Isn't that interesting, right? So you're kind of doing this, and really what I did was kind of a first drafts of how that breakdown was. And what's going to drop out of that is probably your trade pile. I'm agonizing a little bit over here on the Loki. I think I like the mech enough, and I'm not a competitive player that I'm probably going to put it in either my Ghost Bear or Nova Cat group because it's just cool. So why not? All these other ones are less appealing to me or really don't fit. Oh, and here's I was talking about that. The Banshee's not really a Karita ride, but this fifth sort of light Palmer Conti versus a Genosa thing happens, and I think fifth sort of light. Yeah, it's the fifth sort of light pilot. I think has it. I think. Anyhow, so there's things like that happen. So then you get your trade list and things bounce back and forth between your trade list and your list, and you move things around. And then what I started to do was go, okay, if these are really the factions, how I wanted to break them down into regiments more. And to do that, that's so first phase. Sorry, this is rambly. First phase is just kind of record it, get it all down there, figure out how many mechs you have, what you got. Second phase is to figure out your possible factions, kind of start doing your first drafts. You'll probably build out a trades list. You might also realize that you've done something really horrible by like not buying the clan heavy Battlestar when you should have as a Nova Cat player because it's got the Turkina and the Huntsman and Ebon Jaguar in it, and that was really dumb of you to not do that. And the prices on eBay right now are $90. Hilarious. I really hope there is stock for these things. I will buy more, probably, shamefully. Yeah. So you're doing this, you're bouncing around. And then what I did, because I'm not a competitive player, I'm a lore player, these forces are probably mostly going to battle themselves. Um, so I'm looking at mirroring a lot of units on either side is good, some general balance and things like that, right? But then I started to really look, okay, what regiments do I want, right? And I built myself these little inspiration pages. That art is stolen from the Legends book. That's obviously a Karita symbol. This is a Dark Age mech that's cool, and they're all done in this first Genosha paint scheme. This regiment for the Draconis Combine. This is a very early established regiment. A lot of history behind it. A lot of fighting between them, Nova Cat, I think Ghost Bear. I know less about Ghost Bear, and especially them against their own brethren in Dragon's Fury. So I want to build an Amaterasu force. This is a non-canon paint scheme, but I really like it. These colors actually don't match what's going on here. This is a an olive green underneath here with a cream on top. This is really cool and a very Japanese sort of color palette. I like it. This is obviously a sort of light regiment here, but I'm kind of thinking, how do I do that? Here's somebody using that regiment as well. The Dragon's Fury symbol, very very cool. So these are going to be kind of these are who I consider my good guy Karita. These are going to be probably tilt towards my bad guy Karita, towards Black Dragon Society, being kind of the nasty ethno-nationalist sort of type that they are, going after get rid of the clan out of Karita space type stuff, right? Here's the Ghost Bear Tau Galaxy that I'm interested in. Somebody's great paint job from Reddit. Yeah, I get again. I just stole all this stuff off the internet, right? None of these are my mechs, but these are paint jobs that inspire me and how I might want to paint up the forces, right? So there's Tau Galaxy done. For this, I think this is a great job, but I think I'd try and get the more camo to show out here and darker in the recesses and things like that. But it is really cool. Great job. That's from Camo Specs. This is from what is this one called? I have the link somewhere. I've got the spreadsheet. I've got the link. Unit color compendium. That's where that's from. See, great use of spreadsheet. All right, so back here, and then there's my Nova Cat. Yeah, baby. Alpha Galaxy. So classic Nova Cat, right? I really like that. It's interesting they say that this is a gray. This looks more like a white to me that they've got there. Really cool. Again, somebody's, I think, off Reddit. That's Camo Spec. I don't mean this in a negative way. This is a pretty simplistic paint job, and it's got really big star splotches on it, but it looks really nice. This may not be an actual Alpha Galaxy paint scheme. That could be a Ghost Bear thing. And what is this, an Ebon Jag or a Night Star? I can't even identify that. I think that's an Ebon Jag with droopy arms there. And then just some symbols here, and this odd Dark Age mech that kind of grows on me with the paint scheme, which I might consider painting up. This is a Wendigo named Nebula. It ran off the last known Novacat Mystic. And then the Novacats right now in current timeline have disappeared into the ether. Order of the Five Pillars has probably helped them escape. There's remnants of them left. The leader of the Dragon's Fury is also, we think, taken prisoner. Katana Tormark. She's locked up for starting her little rebellion. So who knows what's going to happen. I also built a little books tab of books that are important to me. So they've got all the things that I want to read about, and we know that there's a rumored new Randall Bills novel that's going to come out, and that's going to deal more with Nova Cat in the Ilklan time frame. So that's cool. Some other things, Karita stuff pulls a lot of real world Japanese pre-World War II and World War II history into it. So the actual Genosha and Black Dragon Society movements, there's a cool YouTube video there. And then I just listed the rule books that I had. So ramble. You build yourself something like this, and you go back and you keep refining, right? You keep looping around. So phase 1, list it all. Phase 2, try and do first draft of things. Phase 3, iterate over it, strengthen it, make it deeper. Build out your for trade list, because you're probably going to have some. You're probably going to build out a wish list. These are weird Dark Age rides, or Jihad Plus at least. Oh wait, when's the Civil War? Ocelot. I don't know much about that. And then I hope to finalize this. What I'm probably going to do to finalize it is actually move all the plastic into the actual forces and build some faux lances and stars and see how it looks, right? Do I have enough assaults and lights balancing? I've got the right mix and the right faction forces there to do it. And then, just paint it all, because it's like 95 mechs. It's perfectly great. It's great. I've done a similar spreadsheet, although it looks a lot different. I think every time I build one of these spreadsheets for Wargaming, it's different. But I built one for Cav Strike Ops 2, which is really great. Oh, and I got new email. Anyhow, yeah, cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that somebody finds inspiration from it, and it helps you organize your forces and do the things you want to do. Hopefully, maybe if you're into BattleTech, you're probably a slightly strange individual and kind of like spreadsheets. Probably if you're into miniature wargaming, you do too. But anyhow, right on. Have a good night, all. Bye.